basic Goround command which is used for contouring in PartMaster CAM. So we're in the CAM system now, and I've got this piece of geometry which came through from the CAD system, but equally this could have come in from a DXF file. So the first thing to do is to set up the machine with the tool change position and any other information that you want. So what we have to do is to define, select and then use the tools to machine that. So from the bottom toolbar we start at the left hand side, define a tool, we'll choose an end mill, set the diameter, set the length and set the maximum cut depth that we want that tool to use. And that cut depth is specified by this line here. This is tool number 1. So it puts the tool in definition in this window here. We now need to select that tool for use. So we choose select tool, and this is where we set the spindle speed and the feed rate. There's 2 feed rates, one for use in the XY plane and one for use in the Z plane. If you want the coolant to be switched on, this is where we do it. And now we use the basic Goround command. So if there are multiple contours you can choose them, and if you don't know the names you can simply use the select button and then choose the contour from the screen. If there's no depth associated with the contour, then you can enter it here. The direction cuts forward or reverse as defined by the arrows which you see on the contour when you select it, and the tool offset is set after the direction is specified, left for the outside, right for the inside, or none, so that the tool sits on the line. If you want to leave a finishing allowance in X, Y and or Z, this is where we do it. The basic contouring operation can have an approach and a runoff. So the approach movement can be switched on or switched off, and it's set to normal, arc, parallel or rectangle, and the diagram there shows you the values that are required. So if we have an arc approach and set the runoff, that can also be an arc, and we click OK. So that shows the tool going from its home position, which is 0. The rapid line is shown in dotted, and the blue line is the center of the offset tool. To view the tool in different ways, we use center line and then run. So that views the center line of the tool. If we choose tool envelope, then that shows us a blocked view of the tool. If we choose animate, then we can use the ISO view and then run, so that we see the tool moving on the screen thus. The dotted line there is rapid from its home position across to the first start position, rapids down to the feed change plane above the job, sinks down at the Z feed rate and then applies the cut depth to that. If we want to change the cut depth, we can associate it with the tool, but the better way is to do it using the Goround command, and under the Z axis tab we can set the maximum that we want the tool to move. If I switch on tool centerline mode, then we can see that we've got 4 cuts there. If we need to, we can view a split window, so we can click into each window and see the tool moving. In these end views and front views we can check that the tool is not doing anything other than what we want in the Z axis. So that's the basic contouring operation using the Goround command. If you want to look at some more options, then under the options tab here, partial machining will machine only certain parts of that contour. So each contour is made up of a number of spans. A span is a line or an arc segment. So in this case it's got 11 spans, but if I only want to machine the first 8. Then we can see what that's doing there. If I go into the plan view, you can see that it's starting here and only moving around the set number of spans. So this is useful for avoiding clamps, because between each successive pass the tool will wrap it to its clearance plane in Z before moving across in X and Y. That's under the partial machining option here. So that video just shows you a brief overview of the Goround command.